Welcome to Talking Truth Ministries, where my goal is to teach the truth, speak the truth, share the truth, whatever it may be, as well as I know it and to the best of my ability. As we know, there's much deception going on in this world, and as Jesus said, there would be deception and lies and all kinds of stuff like that as we near the end of the age. And Paul talked about a great delusion that would be so great that even the elect may be deceived by it. And I believe that that delusion started probably right after Paul spoke those words. If we look down through history, we can see how governments and religious organizations and nations have, and others have just lied to us. Corporations, politicians, all they do is lie. And how do we discern the truth in all of that? And I believe it is possible to discern the truth through the lies, but only as God allows us to understand it, as we pray and we read his word and we listen to what he has to say to us. Now, I'm going to read an excerpt of a book called Scientism Exposed. This is written by Robbie Davison of Celebrate Truth Ministries. And the preface is, we live in a world where the idea of truth has been altered and transformed in ways the human brain can barely comprehend anymore. Our values, our thoughts, and our perception are molded in such a manner to benefit those powerful few who hide behind the curtain, the puppeteers who push us and laugh at our disorientation. Their methods are vicious, always aiming at confusing us, because through confusion they can rise up above and rule the rest of us like flocks of sheep. Throughout the ages, various methods were used to brainwash and force the masses into submission, ranging from brute force to the propagation of brilliant lies. Right now, the world is confronted with an illogical phenomenon, scientism, a deadly religion that must be neither debated nor questioned. The scientist comes forth like a saint, and we must embrace his theories as pure truth, regardless of the facts or hidden intentions. We're told that we need to believe, we need to not question or wonder about the validity of the so-called scientific truths. This isn't science anymore. This is more like a collective madness where people are pushed aside and considered nothing but freaks of nature, an accident that might as well have never happened. Over the years, the science proved its utility to mankind. The true fact-based science cured illnesses and helped us live a better life. But at the same time, a different branch evolved. Drugged by their importance and the attention they received, the members of this current system of thought replaced God with their own persona. They glorified their name and their agenda while we just stood in the shadows and watched the spectacle. This new religion begins to call us heretics if we dare to oppose its theories, and soon we'll go back to the dark ages where we will not possess the courage to open our mouths and speak the truth, even if it's right in front of our eyes. If analyzed in more detail, we can observe the war between the old and the new. The old being our long-lasting religions and the idea of divinity, and the new being the new religion and its intrusive ways. We see all over the media how science is glorified while religion is cast aside. We are encouraged from the earliest years of life through school to see scientism as the only way. Its aggressiveness is dubious, and one might think there must be a hidden agenda somewhere that someone or some group is trying to blind us to the truth. The light is all around us, and yet we fail to see it as we are pushed to focus on a single dark dot. We're nothing in this universe, a speck of dust appearing here by chance, a speck of dust that will fade away as quickly as it came into being, and in the end will be completely forgotten. It's time to pull back the veil of scientism, exposing many of the greatest deceptions in the world to hide the true creator of creation. And that's what I want to talk about on this series called Flat Friday. And you'll notice I spelled flat differently. because of YouTube's algorithms, they may do a word search or a title search, and I might get banned. I'm taking a chance, but I think the truth is worth the risk. I think if people would really understand what's going on and not just believe what they've been taught in our vastly inadequate education system in our schools, then they can see that maybe there's some truth behind what I'm presenting here. And I'm not alone in presenting this. I've been studying this subject for quite a few years, but I want to read a quick excerpt from another book that I started reading today called Before Genesis, The Unauthorized History of Tohu, Bohu, and the Chaos Dragon in the Land Before Time by Donna Howell and Dr. Thomas Horn. In this, she made an interesting, she quoted a biologist named Herbert Spencer, who said, there is a principle which is a bar against all information, which is proof against all argument, and which cannot fail to keep man in everlasting ignorance. That principle is condemnation before investigation. Let that sink in, a bar that stops the flow of all information. So, we all know, especially after the last few years, and I'm not going to mention what you all know what happened in the last 3 years with the pandemic, but we can't trust the scientists anymore. They're all out to make money, make names for themselves, and to advance a godless, hedonistic society. And we can see the result of that in our cities today. People are going crazy. They're believing stupid stuff. And eventually I will address some of those topics, but I want to start this one. There's a reason it's called Phlat Friday. And let me bring up an image of what I'm talking about. Just give me a second here. But there's a belief that we all were raised with that I kind of questioned it even as a child. If you use your God-given senses, your eyes, and look around you, things don't seem to appear as we've been taught. And I'm talking about the nature of creation. And as soon as I can find the right picture, I'll share this. But we've been taught that we live, where are we at here? We've been taught we live on this big ball called a globe spinning in space, and nobody ever really questioned it. I mean, really? Why would they lie about that? And I'll get into that, but I'm trying to find the right picture. Okay, let's look at this picture here. Where are we at? I'm going to share an image on the screen. And this is what we've been taught to believe, that this is what the Earth looks like. Now, these are all images that NASA put out on their website. Now, notice they're called images. They're not called photographs because they're not photographs. But all official images of Earth, as released through the mainstream media outlets, and major news agencies of the world. Question is, how big is America? What colors are the oceans and the land? Why is there never any real video of the Earth spinning? Why are the images so varied? Why does everyone believe this is where we live? Do you trust NASA? Look at that. These are all 1975. Did it change over the years where colors were different. Look at this image up here, 2015. If you flip this around right here where my cursor is pointing, if you flip that around, it spells out the word sex. Now, I find that rather interesting. And if you know anything about the Disney conspiracies, a lot of that stuff is in Disney animated movies. Now, these here are all made with Photoshop. And if you don't believe me, look up Robert Simon, NASA's, I forget what his title is. He does their artistic work. He says that you have to use Photoshop to make an image of the Earth. That's interesting. If we supposedly have all these satellites out there, why don't they just turn around and take a picture? But they don't, and they can't because they're not out there. I know that sounds crazy, but just telling you what the facts is. Let's see. How about these little things? Think those are real? I don't think so. So we're gonna stop here. We're gonna go out of that for now. I'm getting ahead of myself now. So something to think about. I'm not going to go into the whole thing tonight because it could take hours and I don't have hours. I want to try to keep these videos short so that people don't get bored and not watch them all the way through. But the challenge I have is now I have come to believe that our Earth looks like this. And I'm not just some crazy kook that thinks that. If you really do the research, try to prove that wrong, please. Let me know. There's one flat earther, his name is Dave Weiss. He offers 3 Bitcoins. That's worth about probably about $100,000 for anybody that can give one globe proof. Now he has an app. It's called the Flat Earth Sun Moon Zodiac Clock app. In fact, let me show you a picture of what it looks like. Hold on. I dare anybody. I dare you to investigate this. There's lots of questions you'll have. Believe me, I had lots of questions too. I had to do a lot of reading, a lot of researching. Obviously, you can't trust everything that Google shows you or the internet shows you. But, you know, there's something. Well, here, this is what I'll do. Show it on my phone. This is what the app looks like. It has all kinds of information. People have done experiments. I've done some experiments to try to disprove this. And I'll go into more information in future episodes of the series. I'm really not trying to convince you of anything except for tell you what's out there, what the truth is, and asking you to stop believing. If you don't believe in evolution, there's a reason for that, because scientists lie. We know it's not true. There is no evidence for a globe spinning ball Earth. If you say the pictures from space, there are no pictures from space. We never went to the moon. I can show you evidence for that too. That's for another episode. My point here is to try to pique your interest. Don't just shut me down. Don't think I'm crazy. I'm not. I'm just intrigued by all the misinformation that's been passed down as truth down through history. I'm going to conclude this episode for now, and I'll be back. Stay with me.